It's no surprise that I keep my eyes open for new Metroidvanias, and this week's been a pretty big one as far as the genre is concerned. Obviously, everybody is waiting for Silksong news, and Team Cherry are keeping rather very tight-lipped about that. But Crowsworn, which I did a video on the Kickstarter for, was it a couple of days ago, something like that, has really taken off. And I'm really happy for the guys that made that and that are making that. But I worry that it might overshadow other releases. Now, whilst I'm only a teeny tiny channel, I feel like, any kind of help that these guys can get to kind of spread the word of their Kickstarter might be useful. And as it says here, there's 22 days to go on this, and they're about, I think it's 12% of the way there for Mira, the Legend of the Djinn. A love letter to Metroidvanias, featuring a world based on the Moroccan and Amazi. Again, apologies if I mispronounce anything in this, because I'm not a cultured man. So it's another Metroidvania. It's got a really cool art style. There's a trailer and stuff that you can back out, and there is a demo, which I'm going to play very, very shortly in this video. But a brief overview. The Legend of the Djinns is a classic Metroidvania-style game to be released on the PC initially. The story follows the adventures of Yuba, treasure hunter and explorer who travels the vast expanse of the desert ocean, and Mira, a mysterious djinn who has lost her memories. Been working on the game for a little over a year. Mechanics and overall gameplay are inspired by games they loved growing up, including Super Metroid, Castlevania, Legend of Zelda, with a combat system inspired from games like Devil May Cry and Ninja Gaiden. The world of the game is inspired by Moroccan and Amazi culture, language, and spiritual traditions. They've got stretch goals sorted already. They've got a lot of social media stuff. There's a little bit of story there. Yuba discovering an ancient necropolis and finds Mira, an amnesic djinn, within, and they go on an epic quest to find out just what has happened to the world. New friends, deadly enemies, priceless artifacts, and dangerous ruins. Some really nice artwork to go with it. Do like that hand reaching up into the sky. A little bit of a soundtrack there that we can listen to as well. But this is your first look, arguably, unless you watch the trailer first of all. This is your first look at the actual game and what it looks like. And as you can see, even though this is a GIF, the pixel art looks very nice indeed. Everything seems to be quite nicely meshed together. But the proof will, of course, be in the pudding. 7 tools to overcome obstacles in the game. What else have we got here? Pickaxes to get through blocks. Wall climbing with said pickaxe, or a climbing axe. Might be the same thing, might be different ones. Who knows? We've got a grappling hook mechanic. This I thought was quite interesting. The player will be able to use 4 different weapons, each one related to one of the 4 primal elements that represent the powers and nature of djinns: solar, celestial, infernal, and lunar. Combat system emphasizes fluidity and experimentation, which is where the Devil May Cry influence comes in. Best represented in the ability of the player to switch between weapons and elemental modes on the fly, even in the middle of combat. And you get a little gif of that happening there as well. What else do we have? Oh yes, this is showing you the different stuff. Classic Metroidvania spells and abilities, dash, air dash, new bits and pieces, some kind of shadow teleport thing, which looks quite cool. Moving blocks around with some kind of air grapple. Weapon upgrading. Each weapon has a max level of 7, which you can upgrade with weapon cores. Skill tree for each weapon, which you can work on. World overview. There's a little bit about the characters. I really like the art style. It looks slightly odd because I'm zoomed into 160%, and then you've got all of the kind of Kickstarter rewards there as well. And you'll see from this that the team is all over the place. We've got Morocco, the US, Morocco, Venezuela, Canada, US. So they're a real mix. Let's take a watch of the trailer. So we're seeing some of the zones, nice parallax in the background. Nice font choice, very readable and clear. Things to do, relics to find. I will do my best to protect you. Obviously, this is not a reaction video because I've watched this trailer already. That's what got me to back the game. That and the fact that it's a Metroidvania. Also, I really like grappling hook mechanics. That's the same grappling hook as the one used for hooking around, so... Super dash. Definitely looks like there's going to be a nice focus on combat. The music's cool as well. Not a huge amount that we can tell about the game from the UI. Giant snail thing is kind of odd. Oh yeah, and he chills at campfires. So this is live on Kickstarter. 20-ish days left. They're a chunk of the way through to their goal. But there is a demo available, so I'm going to swap over to that and see what that is like. Okay, here we are with the Mira Legend of Djinns pre-alpha demo 1.0. There's going to be bugs, unfinished features, problematic design decisions, many other things that may disrupt the game experience. Above all, please remember the game's not finished and is a work in progress. Let's make some notes. First of all, this is the second time I'm trying this. The first time I tried it, I ran afoul of some issues, including the fact that I played almost the entire thing in a tiny 720p window, which on a 4K monitor is a bit of an issue because at nowhere does it tell you that there is a full screen mode and you have to press escape to get into it. So my impressions of the game are coloured by the fact that I could barely see what was going on. The other issues that I've got will make more sense when we get into the game. But this is the first time I'm seeing it at an actual full screen resolution where the pixels are scaled properly. Ugh. What was that giant snail? I've never seen one like this before. There are some localization and translation or just writing issues. You know, it's a pre-alpha. I was lucky it didn't kill me, but I think I'm not doing great either. It's got me with its poisonous spikes. Oops. Damn it, I've skipped that. You lost your equipment. So yes, oh, this looks better, and actually, it feels smoother as well. Can you hear me, traveller? Comma should be after the me. I need your help. Please, comma, come closer. I'm going to try not to moan about the storytelling or the English too much because, quite frankly, I don't know whether the guy writing the script is a native English speaker, and yeah, I'm not hitting the controller here. So there is some issue with sliding, and actually, when we walk, there's a little bit of a slide to the stop, which kind of looks interesting, but I think with tighter platforming will not work very well. Also, you can see the bottom of the animation clipping through there. Oh yeah, and for some reason on the PlayStation controller, if I press up on the D-pad, it moves me right, and if I press down on the D-pad, it moves me left. And you can't interact with this oh, and there's no keyboard controls, is there? Oh no, I can press space. There we go. Finally! Capital T. Thank you for setting me free. My name is Mira. That is all that I remember. I was trapped in this urn for a long time. Capital I's for the pronoun. Strange. Full stop. I have a feeling that I don't belong to this realm. Full stop. Am I a djinn? You look wounded. Full stop. Let me heal your wounds. If I may ask, what is my saviour's name? Uber? Uber? What an unusual name. Full stop. Glad to meet you. Well, shall we continue our discussion after we escape from this place? Or, I mean, it does work actually as it is. As a djinn, I cannot walk beside you. Full stop. My energy will fade away and vanish. Full stop. I'm afraid I will have to possess you. Full stop. Would you accept? Will you accept? Possessing me? I guess we don't have another choice. I'll have to accept. Why? Oh, this is so much easier to see what's going on when it's in full screen. It was really hard. Right, press heal to drain Mira's energy and regenerate health at a rate of 1 health rune per 8 MP. Right, and what was that? What was the command for heal? I don't know what control... I'm going to have to swap over controllers. It just doesn't recognise the PS5 controller properly. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. There we go. What is heal? There doesn't seem to be a heal option. I mean, there's this cool thing of playing the instrument, which I really quite like. But that I don't know what that does. One thing that I'm noting is that, do I have a mouse cursor? Yeah. When you move, you get quite a lot of kind of pixel shimmering on some of the rather ornate backdrops. And that looks a little bit weird. Also, the fire effects look a little bit... Interesting. We've got a sound effect for hitting the ground. Oh, that reminds me. Is that a... Yeah, we've only got basic menuing for the moment. Transitions between rooms. The camera's going to need some work. These things come to life in a bit. We need to grab the sword first. Yeah, the way the camera works there is a little bit iffy, but this is, and I shall repeat, pre-alpha. And I know it says in the bottom left-hand corner, but I feel like it bears repeating. I know that, you know, this is for Kickstarter. This is to drum up support. Siren sword. Curved sword with some strange symbols. Can be used to defend yourself. Oh, I've got a defensive roll. I don't think it told me that at any point. Yeah, because I ended up picking up a dash. Use tool or cancel X's attack. Y is projectile. Got no projectile abilities yet. So these things are going to... Now, combat at this stage is a little bit basic. We can't get over there. Yeah, I'm noticing a trend in games where if you fall from a height, you get that kind of blum, you've been locked in place for a second thing. Like that. I'm not a huge fan of it. It looks kind of cool, but realistically, it actually breaks the smoothness. The game still feels, you know, even at the this more full screen. I think the way the camera moves actually is contributing to a kind of weird feeling of strain. I actually thought it was just because I was squinting at a 720p window on a 4K monitor. But I think it might actually be something to do with how the camera moves. See, it's not an issue here because the camera isn't moving. But I think because of the parallax and the kind of pixely nature of everything, and I mean really kind of fine detail pixels. Chest of healing potions. Going down. Need to drop all the way down because down here... Ow. I find it quite interesting that the game is... Where did that enemy come from? The game is made in Pixel Maker, Pixel Engine, or whatever it's called. As opposed to something like Unity or Game Maker Studio or what was the other one that people are using? Godot? Because whilst the art is undoubtedly excellent, I do kind of feel like maybe they'd be better served with a possibly more supported platform. The way these enemies home in on you is kind of annoying and a little bit too fast. Now, the first issue that I had when I played this through the first time was I couldn't get the pickaxe thing working. It wasn't until later that I discovered that you can actually swap back and forth, if you look at the top right hand corner, between this, which is your kind of musical instruments, and the pickaxe by pressing left and right on the right stick. Because I was finding that it was resetting each room. Another thing to note is that in other games, if you've got a wall climb ability, you have to spam jump in order to move up and down the walls. But actually in this, you just hit up on the stick and it moves you. I'm not sure whether I like that or not. It could just be because it's different. I'm not sure. This is definitely easier to work with. But yeah, I feel that there's a sharpness about the pixel art that I find is actually a little bit raw and kind of off-putting, almost. And I don't know whether that's something to do with the engine or the scaling or what. But I don't know, it just comes across as a little bit too... Yeah, just a little bit too sharp, and it doesn't necessarily look like your pixels are square. It kind of gives me the impression that things are stretched or scaled wrong, which obviously shouldn't be the case. I mean, 720 to 2160 is... it's still 16:9 ratio. Light dash allows you to cross gaps too far to reach by jumping and makes it easier to dodge enemies and their attacks. So in the top left hand corner we have got some yellow pips and a grey one. I'm assuming the grey one is for collecting shards. Like stamina shard pieces or energy shard pieces or whatever it decides to call this. Let's go to soul crystals. Soul crystals are used to upgrade your abilities in a bit. Ooh, that's an issue. So the trigger for room transitions is a little bit further away than where it actually spawns you in. So you can't move back and forth. You have to move out and then back. Again, pre-alpha. Just an observation. Obviously, I've played many a 2D Metroidvania. So hopefully the feedback has some use and or weight. We can't get up there. But we can... Oops. Can jump back up. We can move across here. Oh, I can hit enemies up into the air. That's good to know. They take a little bit to fall back down again. It does make me feel like the physics and stuff just aren't implemented fully yet. And again, that's fine. Why? Because it is a pre-alpha product. And it feels like it. You know, it feels like a game that is going to have at least another year or so in development. I would assume minimum. You know, they're looking for support to... I'm assuming, you know, do game dev full time and get this, you know, turned into a product that people are going to want to play. And I can see a lot of potential in it. Gonna need some work. Possibly an engine change. Again, it depends on how wrapped up in using this particular engine they are. I mean, the artwork's really nice. As I said, a little bit too crisp. You know, it's almost like the pixel art is maybe a little bit too detailed. And because the camera doesn't move smoothly, there's a weird issue there with texture going in front of us. And also the kind of darkness there. It's very rough around the edges, shall we say. But I like the advertised systems and intention. And I think realistically, that's what this whole demo is for, to show you the intent. This room's cool. It's got a lamplight puzzle in. I think maybe you need to change it so you have to get a little bit closer to the lamps. But yeah, I kind of feel like maybe the pixel art is just a little bit too sharp and detailed, which kind of feels really weird. But you can see when I'm moving here that the shimmering in the backdrop. Really nice animation on that door opening though. So I thought I've got a dash across there, and I didn't. I didn't even press the button. Don't know whether I went up here previously. Somewhere around here. There's an upgrade person face thing. Up. Oh yes, I have to kill all the enemies in the room to get through the purple doors. I think I just managed to clip that enemy into the wall. Oh no, I did come up here before. This was a health room fragment. So if you look at the top left-hand corner, we've got like a piece of hearts added to the end of our health bar, which is a nice mechanic. So you can actually see it without having to go into your inventory and check. And I assume once you've got all four, it'll just turn it into an actual shard and you can use it as per normal. Right, not a big fan of such a big pillar in the foreground. And the parallax there, I don't know whether that gets anybody else, but that feels weird on the eyes. This thing isn't usable, but yeah, that's just too... It moves too much. I kind of feel actually a little bit like the sword swing maybe is clashing a little bit with the pixel art as well. For the most part, it's a very unified style, and I can definitely see what they're going for. It's just a little bit sharp. It feels like maybe it'd be very much at home on kind of like an old CRT or something. The hitboxes on these enemies is a little bit weird. I'm also not sure what's going on with the kind of chromatic aberration effect when enemies are hit or when we're hit. That's a really cool design. I said this in my first take on this. Another 100 gold required. Right, did I come down here before? I don't think I did. I think this is a different place. Difficult to tell, obviously, without a map. With it being a Metroidvania, you'd hope that there will be a map at some point. But there isn't one yet. Have I just fallen? No, this is still a different room. Don't know what this is. I've activated a thing. Powered something up. Is this going to activate the... Oh, good. I've activated a load of buzzsaws. That strikes me as an excellent idea. I didn't see this in my first look through. It is nice to actually be able to see things more clearly. Yeah, even the water coming out of her hands there. It looks too crisp. Oh. So I've now managed to fill the place with traps. Don't know why I'd want to do that. Has it enabled me to do something else? Oh, I've died, apparently. Game over. Okay, that's where it's going to put me back. That's a little bit weird. Yeah, sound effects are obviously not finished. A little bit on the basic side right now. Nothing wrong with that. Pre-alpha demo. Generally speaking, I think the ideas are here. And from the stuff that we read off on the Kickstarter page, clearly they've got good ideas. The implementation is all going to come further down the line over the next year or two, potentially. Again, depending on how far along they think they are. In terms of how far along I think they are, not very. I'd expect at least another 12, possibly 18 months plus dev time on this. It needs a lot of work and polish. But again, here we go. Pre-alpha demo. At this stage, combat obviously is very, very basic. Give them soul fragment crystal things. Delicious. Ah, here we go. This is the stone head that weirdly we have to press A to interact with, as opposed to up, which is what everything else has been. So we've started off our journey and the sword. Now it's kind of buggy, this. Because it said that required 10 and then it took 2 off us. And I feel like a lot of these aren't actually implemented. And yet we can, you know, purchase them. And the control of them is a little bit on the weird side. Oh yeah, and now we've got them. The menus are no longer accessible. So I've no idea what's happened there, but whatever button I press, start, select, and so on and so forth, I can't access the menus anymore. So I can't even go in and see what the combos are. I've got a load of extra height then for somehow. But yeah, the charge attack, you've got to actually hit down and the attack button for at the same time, which is not what it says on the upgrade screen. What were the other things that we bought? Did it even tell us how to use them? Yeah, so you hold X and release. It's not. Dash thrust. Okay, that's how dash thrust works. Does it take 2? So you've got to hit dash and then attack during it. What else did we get? Dash thrust plus solar shredder. Ain't got a clue. I really like the attack animation combo though. That's very nice indeed. Yeah, no idea how Solar Shredder works. Again, alpha. Ow. Not sure that was worth the charge up time, to be fair. Ah, yes. No, I fell afoul of these. Ooh. Whoa. There we go. No idea how much of the game there is in the, or how much game there is, rather, in the demo. Yeah, the hitboxes are kind of weird on those skulls. Sound effects are a little bit repetitive and basic currently. That seems like a somewhat easy way to cheese those enemies. Ooh! I'll have this treasure then. Oop. Whoa. Oh, can get through there. What's this? Oh! Oh, yeah. No. Yes. That. It's not you can't cross your own path puzzle, which is what I initially thought it was. Health room fragments. Oh, those aren't climbable walls. Okay, another cool little puzzle. I like. These are climbable walls. Oh, that's where we went up before, isn't it? Oh, hitboxes on these enemies leaves a lot to be desired. Oh, what? Okay. I wanted to dash forwards then, but instead it dashed backwards. Spikes just seem to insta-kill you. Yeah. So anyway, I feel like that gives you a pretty decent look at the very, very early version of Mira. There's a lot of really good ideas in here. I do kind of wonder whether the engine is going to hold them back. I wonder if this is a brand new demo purely for Kickstarter. I kind of feel, if I'm brutally honest, maybe it could have done with being a little bit further along before you release a demo for something like a Kickstarter. It just strikes me as very, very rough around the edges. But I mean, I'm still super impressed with it. You know, as a fan of the genre, I love the kind of stylings of it. I love the premise and potential for it. And as a kind of look, here's what we're going for. You know, this is the foundation we're working from. I think this is a really good base to grow from. But I do feel that it needs a good chunk of time and polish in order to do that growing. But as I said, I'm very much of the opinion that it is something to be supported, because I do feel there's a lot of potential here. I'm going to have to kill myself because my buttons for the menus aren't working, so I can't get back to the title screen. Again, very, very early. So that's Mira, the Legend of Djinns by Little Night Games, pre-alpha demo 1.0, available to back now on Kickstarter. If it looks like it's got premise and potential to you, I do urge you to check out the Kickstarter page. I'll link it in the description down below. Check out all of the notes about what they're planning on doing, even if it's not necessarily here in this very, very early look at the game. Until next time, folks, have yourselves a wonderful day. Stay safe. Cheerio. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, why not click the like button and consider subscribing. Remember, you can ring the bell notification icon to get notified when new videos go live. And until next time, cheerio.